Hello, it's Mr. Kozlowski here, and I have a really cool web tool that I wanted to share with all of you wonderful folks. I've talked with a couple of you about it, and I just wanted to share it with the rest of the school. The title of the tool is Rewordify. You don't need to download anything. It's completely free. There's no commercials. There's no ads on this website. All you need is internet access and a browser. And you can see the site up here, rewordify.com. Very simple. So let's get started. Let me show you how this works. So for the purposes of this video, I've gone to another website, the Avalon Project at Yale Law School, and I've got the Gettysburg Address right here. And what I'm going to do is just copy, and let's go back to Rewordify. And you can see here, there's a text box. Similar to a Google Translator or any other kind of translator, you are going to paste the text into the box. And it's as simple as pressing this button. Now we can see here that this document is modified. Instead of 80 and 7 years ago, we have 80 and 7 years ago. So you can see it's already been modified. Every word in yellow is a word that has been changed. And you could hover over it and you could see the original word. And the question mark means you can click on it. So I'll click on that, and it takes me up here. We can see the original, 80, and the new word, 80. And if you want, you can actually even hear the audio.
80.
And that's great for English language learners or anyone who's learning new vocabulary. They're going to actually be able to learn how to pronounce it. Now, I know some of you may be thinking, this is just a way to water down the text, to make it easier. But that's actually not the case with Rewordify. There's ways to modify the text in different ways depending on who your students are, and we're going to get to that in just a moment. So let's go to the settings. The different display modes are just how the vocabulary words will be displayed. So the default is the hard words are reworded, and if you want to know what the original was, you would click on it. This second option, you don't reword the original words. They stay the same, but you can click on them to see the definition. So let's see what that looks like. Now we see it's back to the original, 80 and 7 years ago. If you were to click on it, you're going to see the new word, the modified word 80. And that counts for all the words. The next option is display hard word and easier word in line. So they're going to be right next to each other. So you could see here what it's going to look like in the sample output and in the document. So now we have 80 and 80 right next to each other. All the other vocabulary words, you can notice the originals are in yellow, the modified words are in purple. And so this is a great way to see the original word right next to the modified word. The next option I really enjoy is creating two columns. So that's what it's going to look like. And we can see here you have the original document on the left and the rewordified or modified document on the right. And they can look at this right next to each other. And you can even print this in this format, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, the final option is the vocabulary column, which is very similar to a word bank or a word box. And so that's what it's going to look like when it's created. And so you see you have the original document still on the left side with the yellow highlights. And then we have the word box right here. And the word box goes in order of the words on the left-hand box. So these are all just different ways, different formats, different ways to view the document. It's up to you, whatever you prefer, you could use. But there's 19 words here in the Gettysburg Address that we have highlighted. And so next I'm going to show you how to modify it even further and be even more specific. The next level is the rewordifying level. So although this isn't going to take it to the Lexile score of each specific student, you still have quite an array of options here. The default is 19 words, we see here. And then you see if you go to level 2, only 8 words are going to be highlighted. And let's see what that looks like. So we see on the right-hand side, the list was cut from 19 to, what is that, 7. Same format that we had chosen before with the word box on the right and the original document on the left. It's just there's less words. This is a really wonderful way to scaffold instruction, to take one document and maybe create 3 versions or 2 versions of it, depending on your students' levels of reading. And so you can see the options keep going lower and lower, down to 7 words, 6 words, and finally the hardest version, only 5 words are going to be modified. At the bottom here, you see these are the highlighting colors. It's really your preference. If you want blue and orange instead of yellow and purple, we're going to select that, save and close. And so we see here that the blue is on the left and the orange is on the right. So even further, once we have these, right, these are great on computers, but how do you print them? So you can see this bar right here at the top. We're going to go to print learning activities. And so there's just various ways to print this. You can create quizzes. Now this one that it's automatically selected is the text that you see when you Rewordify it according to your settings. So if you want it on the most difficult level, it's going to print that. If you change it to the most easy level, then it's going to print that with the 19 modifications. So let's see what that looks like. So we see if you print this out, you're going to have, and now remember we have the text box option selected, or the word bank option selected, so that's going to print out as well. And we have the words still highlighted. The next option is the vocabulary list. This is the most simple one. You're going to have the difficult words on the left and the easier replacement on the right. And now remember, we had it on, I think it was the intermediate level, so we have 8 words. If it was set on the easiest level, you would have 19 words in both columns. Okay, let's go back and see the next option. Okay, vocabulary list without definitions. Now we're getting a little bit harder. We could see here we have the difficult vocabulary or phrases on the left, and the students would have to fill this out and complete that on their own. So we're getting a little bit more difficult, more scaffolding. Here's a quiz with word banks. So you're going to write the difficult word. We see the definition, 80. The difficult word would be 4 score. And so on and so forth. The next option is matching. You can do a mix and match. And you can see here the difficult words are on the left, and they'll match it to the number of the definition. There's a standard quiz. It says here answer choices are randomly picked only from the words on the quiz. So you can see here these are all words that you would have seen in the quiz already, and you're comparing these. And the difficult quiz. So randomly picked from over 46,000 words. That's what makes it a little bit more difficult. And you can see here that the responses are a little bit more varied. Next, the close activity. I love this one. This is similar to a guided notes where you have the students fill in the blanks. So we can see here we have some blanks, and depending on which level you select, whether it's easy, intermediate, or difficult, you're going to have more blanks. So the students can read along and fill in the options as they go. You also have a word bank at the top. So they have some options of what they're going to put into these boxes, into these blanks. And finally, the text with vocabulary. So this is just a way to print it. Another way to print it, you're going to see the text box on the right. This one's probably the prettiest way to do it. There's a name option up there, so the students can write their name, and they have the highlighted words on the left. So you can see there's plenty of options with Rewordify. We're going to go back. We can also look at stats. So it's going to tell you how many words are in each level that they're going to learn. The read score, which I can only assume is close to like a Lexile level. How many words are in the document or text, and the average sentence length. So as you can see, Rewordify is just a wonderful website. It's a great way to scaffold instruction, especially because the PARCC test is coming up, and I know there's going to be a lot of critical thinking questions that ask students to read some difficult texts and then solve a problem based on that. And it doesn't matter what content you're in, I think that Rewordify can help you. So enjoy, good luck, and if you have any questions at all, please feel free to come and contact me. I'll give you any kind of tips or advice I have on this. Thank you for watching.